Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm Dear Darling, and shall we see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhollow today? A slight pause there because I could not remember how I start off these videos. But of course, we're just counting down the days until 5th of November, until we get a huge boost and adrenaline shot, I suppose, of the Animal Crossing update straight into our veins. Is that how adrenaline shots work? I don't really know, to be perfectly honest. I'm not a biologist or someone who studies that specific part of biology. I mean, I don't study any part of biology, so I don't know how to make that distinction, but still. Until we get that big patch update with lots of new stuff coming. So hello there everyone. Right now in Fawnhallow, it's 5:32 PM on Sunday, October 17, 2021. Oh, you should all hear this. The weather report says we're in for a rare treat tonight, shooting stars. Oh, so I guess I'll do that if I remember to do it. And if I don't, I don't. You know what we should do? What if I just pause now? Time travelled ahead. Actually, hold on. Oh, it's Sunday because we won't have a vista. What if I pause now, time travelled ahead, and we'll just have some shooting stars? That could be fun. I don't know. Have we done? I don't know if we've done much shooting stars here on the show, but what am I, a TV show? Canopy. I just had to tell you about this fab dream I had. In it, I became a world fashion designer. Famous fashion designer. I was so popular that celebrities fought over me. Do you think that this dream foretold my future? Say yes. A girl can dream. Yes, Vivian. Despite the fact I could not read that properly for some reason. I believe it could. What about we do some of these Nookmar missions first, and then if we get to about 15 minutes in, well, maybe I'll time travel. Maybe I won't. I don't know. I can't really be bothered, I'll be honest. We're just here to talk about stuff, and we're just here. These are just sort of days we count down until we get a brand new dose of Animal Crossing goodness to mess around with for. I don't know how long it will keep us occupied for. No. I know people tend to speedrun the game, and I certainly did, trying to catch all the fish and all the bugs in the given month. But now, we've been at this for quite a while. My outlook, I suppose, on the game has changed a bit, and I want to take things slow. Just want to enjoy things as they come and go. And that will be particularly probably what will be most fun for me, just to allow this to last a long time. Just non-stop fun. Isn't that the way things should be? In another life, I wouldn't make it. Sorry, I don't know. This is like Katy Perry now, is something, isn't it? Well, what's it called? Teenage Dream? No, it's not Teenage Dream. The one who got away. Okay, talk to people, hit rocks. Sorry, I know, a bit disjointed. I recorded some Talos Principle I did today. If you want to know where we are in Talos Principle, I can't remember what episode it was. Maybe 23 or so. Maybe that sort of stage. It's whenever we start collecting stars, which is spoilers. We get around to doing that. I guess it's not really spoilers. I mean, who's even watching these Animal Crossing videos? Like most people check out probably after a couple of minutes. Where it's like, what's this? I'm going to want to wait till the actual new Animal Crossing update comes out, and then perhaps people will start tuning in again, being like, oh, I want to see what's in the update. Probably people will tune in themselves, and that's awesome. I did read a comment in some a tweet or something. Well, actually, it was a screenshot of a tweet. Let's be perfectly honest. Where someone, wait, have we? Why do I feel like in my mind we've already got your photo, Phoebe? Have we got your photo? Or am I just making it up? Hold on, this is where we go check. But someone's like, I feel bad for the devs who have been basically been flamed for the entire past year or so for not releasing any content, and they're working on this in secret. And I kind of had to agree with that, I suppose, in retrospect. I will say, I don't think I was particularly mean or anything to the devs, but I will say I did express my frustrations for a long while, just like a long stretch of a content drought, as you might say, of no updates and basically nothing even saying there was an update coming. I'd like to think I wasn't particularly rude about it, but perhaps I was. It's always a lot easier to say, to come at your own, I suppose, your own actions with what's the word? I came at my own actions with good intentions, I suppose, when judging other people's. So if I do, if I was rude, if it came off as rude, I apologise. It was not meant to come off as rude, but if it came off as rude, the fault was on me, to be honest. I don't mean to be rude to the devs or anything like that, but I will say I did get certainly some increasing dissatisfaction after playing for a very long time and basically being in the dark of, is there an update coming? Is there not an update coming? I don't know. I feel like that's to a reasonable degree fair. It was upsetting to feel like there was more updates coming, things are promised, and for the game to feel like it was an incomplete version of the previous games, apart from the one aspect where customization was very big. Part of me was a little bit disappointed. I will readily admit. Whether you think that's fair enough, I think all of it is, well, I think perhaps a better way to put it is perhaps it's justified, but is it exactly fair? No, because I mean, you can always come around it from the argument that I'm number one making this game, I'm number one putting the effort into it. I'm just enjoying sort of the fruits of a labour from the dev team. I'm actually making it, and you know, you have a good point. I'm not really contributing anything. It's a lot easier for me to sit here and throw out criticisms, much easier than it is to actually know what's going on behind the scenes. And but I suppose most of the time, when I try and get, well, not when I try and get, when I'm upset at, I suppose, game companies and these sort of things, I'm more upset at the management and the business side of things. I always assume that the devs always have like nice visions and things that they want to do, but you know, maybe they're being understaffed or underpaid, working long hours. It's a tough time being out there in the game dev industry, and you know, I have sympathy, I have empathy. Well, no, not empathy, I suppose, and I haven't worked in that sort of situation, but I have sympathy for their sort of situation, feeling like their hands are tied and being like, well, we're not in charge of like PR, and we want to be like, oh yeah, we're working on this stuff, look at it, it's coming, or we want to release it in more like bite-sized updates, but you know, apparently someone in management, someone in business was like, nope, we're just going to wait until the 2.0 update before releasing everything, and then the devs have to withstand the brunt of the harassment, I'm sure. And can I just say, anyone who's out there who's harassing people, you know, stop that. Basically, long and short of it. You can express your disappointment, but, you know, be reasonable. Remember the human is always how these sort of sayings should go. Remember the human. There's always a human at the end of things. So, yeah, I will say, my view on the things was I was getting, I suppose a better way to put it would be like I was getting restless with the fact that nothing seemed to be happening in Animal Crossing. And I guess part of me was just like, is this all it's going to be? Like, it's just a big customization sort of sandbox. Well, it's nice, it's not exactly the Animal Crossing I fell in love with. And, you know, I suppose that left me a bit disappointed. And I suppose part of it's also marred by the fact that me, myself, perhaps I don't think I super sped run the majority of the game. I didn't time travel or anything, but perhaps I put a little bit too much pressure to get things done. And then by the time, you know, they imagine, and the fact that I played every single day, they'd imagine the content would last most average people, up to the entire long stretch, up to the 2.0 update. But because of, you know, me, you know, trying to do things a bit more efficiently, trying to get things done, I ended up running out of things to do quite early on. And customization and rearranging stuff itself was not enough to tide me over. But to be fair, I think it would be enough to tide me over if it was less inconvenient. But I will still say that my number one complaint with this game, it's sort of like a double-edged sword. I love this game because of its atmosphere and that sort of thing. And, you know, instead of having, like, menus and that sort of thing, you actually like, talk to the animals and have conversations with them, and they sort of relay information to you. And that's basically in place of in-screen menus and that sort of thing. But it's a double-edged sword because, while on one hand that's really cool, it's immersive, I love talking to the villagers in that sort of way, it's also really annoying sometimes when you're trying to just get things done efficiently, when you're just trying to get like, oh, you know, I'm just trying to visit a friend, or like you're trying to have a back, you know, when some of my other friends used to play this game, be like, oh, you know, 3 of us all playing together in one town, you know, having to go through multiple loading screens is quite tedious, and, you know, it still is quite tedious. So it's a double sort of edged sword in this game, and really, I think the long period has really given me a new view on how to interface with a game. Not that there really is a right way to interface with a game, interface with it how you like, as long as you, I suppose, have fun in the end. That's really all you can hope for. But I suppose it's given me the sort of view that I'm like, you know what, I think I've been forcing myself to interface with a game, not how I want to interface with a game. We're trying to make things efficient, trying to like play the stock market. Like, I never used to play the stock market before in Animal Crossing. I just slowly accrue bells over time. I did it a little bit from time to time in Let's Go City and Wild Wild, but not to the extent I did in New Horizons. I don't think I even did it at all in New Leaf. If I wanted to make some money, I would just go to the Summer Island. But here, like, because of that sort of stage of trying to like get things done, trying to do things efficiently, I ended up trivializing a lot of content for me, and thus robbing myself of perhaps the slow burn that Animal Crossing should be. So while I'm excited that the 2.0 update is going to come, I suppose this is just sort of my testament now to you all. I'm not going to rush through it. I'm going to take things slowly. So it might take me like an entire 2 weeks to even see all the new things that might happen. So what, you know? So what if like some people, you know, get all the things done really quickly and they start getting the benefits of it early? I mean, I'm still going to be here probably in a year, still playing this game. And perhaps they might not be. In the end, won't we all get the same amount of the content done? Yeah, probably. So take things slowly. You know, and I was worrying about yesterday. It was like, oh, maybe I need to I was coming at it from a much more like a content producer, I suppose, standpoint, which is not me. That's not me. I don't need this, and I'm not a content producer, I suppose, in the sense that my livelihood depends on it or anything like that. I'm just doing it for the fun of it. I don't need to have multiple episodes every single day trying to cover all the new content. I can just cover one new thing every single day, and I'll be happy to see if that takes like an entire month, I suppose. So what I'm just saying is, take a slow life. Type A, Type B personality. Well, obviously that's all a bit like not a thing in the first place, but you know. Wait, I can't remember which way around is it. Type B is a relaxed one, or Type A is a relaxed one? You know, relaxed when it comes to relaxation, and then efficient when it doesn't. Or when it comes to things that you need to be efficient in. And I guess I kind of evaluated, I've been coming at it from an efficiency standpoint, when really, this is not the sort of thing that I want to be efficient in. I want to take things slow, I want to be vibing, and I want to enjoy Animal Crossing at its pace. At its own defined pace, rather than one I'm trying to hurriedly push forward. If that makes sense? So yeah, I know it was a bit of a sidetrack and a bit of a sort of rambling. It's not really philosophical, I suppose, but sort of reflection, I suppose, of my own view on these sort of things. I guess it's sort of just like, not like it's opened my eyes, it's not like a huge revelation or anything like that. But it's sort of just like, I guess it made me ponder things a bit more, you know? I suppose I've been a little bit grumpy, being like, I'm waiting for an update to come out. I'm waiting for something, anything. Just sort of tied me over. And when nothing happened, I was just like, you know, what am I to do? But now we know actually something's actually coming, and I'm like, you know what? This attitude could have changed. We could be... Animal Crossing is all about spreading positivity, having like chill and calm vibes, you know? Doesn't mean everyone needs to interface with it the same way. Doesn't mean everyone's gonna enjoy it exactly the same way. And doesn't mean, I suppose, everyone's gonna enjoy it full stop. And that's totally fine, you know? Things should be enjoyed at their own pace. I'm just excited to, I suppose, have new things to enjoy. And so maybe things will burn out eventually. Maybe, you know, half a year's passed and I'll be like, you know, I'm kind of out of things to do. The only things I've got left to do really is to create more summer resort homes in paradise. But, you know, I'll be glad that will be done in 6 months' time rather than in like 1 month time. And then every other following month would just be me being like, well, we only had to, you know, catch 2 fish and 2 bugs. And for this entire month, and once that's done, it's done. It's nice to have goals, but it's also nice to try and think about what your goals truly are, you know? My goals are to get things done in this game, but my goals are to enjoy it while I'm doing it, and to not efficient size, make super efficient out of a game when it doesn't need to be. This game isn't Factorio or anything like that. Like, I suppose when I do things recreationally, and I suppose now we're getting into sort of self-reflection things. I like to do things quite efficiently in my real life, you know. But when it comes to games, I don't really need to. But there's no need to do things efficiently in that sort of sense. Do it efficiently when it's, you know, befitting. When it, you know, in recreational activities, it makes it more fun. And when it's not, you don't need to. You know, there's no pressure to. So I was thinking about that when I was playing Talos Principle. I was feeling kind of bad that I was using like a star guide instead of like actually finding out. I forgot to see what fish that was, where all the stars were located themselves, and you know, I couldn't help but draw, I suppose, comparisons to The Witness, where I did a similar sort of thing. But then I thought about it a bit more, you know, after the episode, and I was like, you know what, I think it's perfectly fine I'm doing it this way. Well, I suppose it's more like I put it better into words, I suppose, in my mind during the episode, where the fun part I find is actually solving the puzzles. The fun part, not for me, is exploring and finding out all the little tidbits. I like it to a certain extent, but I don't like backtracking through things I've already seen before. I like exploring things for the first time, but doing it again is just tedious in my eyes. So I don't really have any qualms, I suppose, with using that guide in the first place. And if anything, I find it helpful that someone's made a guide in the first place. And if I ever get around to making that Papa's You guide, perhaps it's a little bit of motivation to be like, you know what, people will get use out of this in different ways. Some people use it because they're like, I want, you know, it's a sort of thing where, as I talked about accessibility in games, you know, people interface with, I forgot to buy wrapping paper, interface with games differently. They find different parts fun. If you want to use like accessibility options or any other sort of options which people might try and gatekeep and be like, that's cheating, you know, but you want to use it to trivialize a part of the content that you don't enjoy, that's exactly how it should be. Like, I think about it with D&D, like at some point I want to DM my own sort of game, But everyone's got sort of different likes and dislikes in the game. There's not like a right way to play in D&D. You know, you might be playing with groups and they just love combat. They don't really care about lore and that sort of thing. They want the bare minimum of lore, and they just want to, you know, be efficient. They want to like execute things as a team and have really challenging combat, which pushes them to their limit and strategic limit and that sort of thing. You know, are they playing the game wrong? No, of course not. And would the DM mess with us being wrong for being like, hey, you know, you can't play like that? Perhaps. I suppose it depends on the DM. But the important part, I suppose, is what I'm coming from this with, is that they're interfacing with the game in the way that they enjoy it, you know? They're going to, you know, perhaps they don't enjoy puzzle solving, so the DM only gives them very basic puzzles to solve, just to sort of give them, like, the flavour of it, but not so much that they don't want to spend, like, hours or whatever trying to agonise what the potential solution to this puzzle is, because they don't find that fun. They want it to in a certain extent, that they want it to feel like a dungeon, that they're actually crawling through and doing puzzles, but they don't want it so challenging that they can't interface with it, and it sucks all the fun away from the parts that they actually want to have fun. So really, what I'm trying to say is, interface with the parts that you find fun. And with Animal Crossing, it's the vibes. That's what I find fun. Just relaxing, doing things. Talking to my villagers and that sort of thing. So that's how I should do that a little bit more, you know? Because apparently the dialogue in this game, I think I brought this up before, is there's more dialogue in this game than there is in New Leaf. It's just that the context-based system makes it seem like there's not nearly as much dialogue going on, which makes it feel far more empty. When the weather is nice like this, it really makes me want to do some swimming-based. Well, I guess as long as I get some exercise. Any sport's fine, really. Which perhaps, you know, I was too quick to write off these sort of things and being like, oh, you know, all the dialogue's the same, I'm just seeing the same things over and over again. I didn't really push it to see if more dialogue was sitting there. Hidden. To have a fun time talking with my villagers. I don't know. You see? Talk to my villagers a bit more. How do you like the way I look at my Musha? I know I'm cool. I'm just why I'm too cool and I have to run away from home to join a band. Yes. Yes, Biscuit. Yes, indeed. So this renewed energy, hopefully we can sustain it until 5th of November comes. Not too long now. It's like 2 weeks or something. Let's see. 3 weeks, more or less, until it's done. And then we'll be reinvigorated and slowly start to uncover everything there is to see. And things might be so. And coming at it from a content, I suppose, producer standpoint, it's not best to take it slow. You got to go fast. You got to be the first person out there to show everyone new content, because people are going to get bored. People won't be watching, you know, yourself in 3 months' time, seeing all the new content. But things will slowly unfold for me. And perhaps, you know, if someone's later on just like, oh, you know, I really want to watch some more Animal Crossing content, but no one's playing it anymore, I'm just still going to be here. Don't you worry. Or maybe I won't. I don't know. We'll kind of see how things go in the future. But for now, certainly, I don't plan on stopping. And I suppose the good side is, with the customization options that you have in Happy Home Paradise, perhaps that's sort of thing where I can find myself customizing quite a lot, you know, a lot more than I do currently, because of the customization sort of menu and interface seems a lot nicer to use, I suppose. A lot less tedium, and a lot more of focusing on the part I find fun. So while I do like decorating, I do like customization and that sort of thing, I don't like doing it in the context of Animal Crossing. I think I mentioned this before, because the medium is annoying, the interface is annoying. I hate the fact that to work with like making cliffs and waterfalls and that sort of thing, I had to go through the very tedious aspect of like digging every single cliff individually, and then every waterfall individually, and if I don't like it, then, you know, it's all just wasted effort, I suppose, in the end. But part of me also loves that it exists in the first place, because it's so Animal Crossing style, you know? It's so just like, ooh, this is how it should be, you know? It's like an immersive sim, I suppose, in some aspects, Animal Crossing. This is how you interface with it. You interface it through the systems of the game, rather than by themselves. And isn't that just nice? Isn't that just well? Maybe to you, maybe not, I don't know. Anyway, let's put some stuff away. We've been going for 20 minutes. Honestly, I'm kind of hungry. A paisley bandana. Didn't Rowan literally just give us this? I'm honestly kind of hungry. Just like as a side point. Talking too much, it's making me lightheaded almost. So I'll just take things easy, I suppose. Drink some water, you know. Have pauses. It's Animal Crossing. No, who cares? There's no things It's not like puzzle games where I have a sort of external pressure to keep things up, you know, to do well. It just is as it is. Sorry about that little bit of a pause as we go about our usual business. We put stuff away. I'm still hungry, I'm gonna be honest. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, taking me slow. Take your slow life. Da 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 da. So it's some random anime song called Slow Life. I don't know, what should we do this episode? Is there anything we particularly need to be doing? I suppose we could start clearing up our house in preparation. The thing is, I still don't know how exactly I want things done. I feel like I should start clearing things up in preparation for the new update to actually get things in order. But alas, I don't really know. So the only things I don't really know what I want done. So the only things I'm doing is getting the Nookmar missions farmed up so we can have enough to purchase all the stuff we need. DIY projects, deep sea creatures, bugs, all very doable things. Yeah, it's interesting. Wait, hold on. Which way around is it? Type A, Type B? The only reason I even know about these things is because of about like comic. That's it. Type A versus Type B personality. Obviously, probably not actually a thing, but like I said, Type A is the go-getter. Type B is the chill one. Which one am I? I don't know. Both. As most people I feel like would say. At times I can be the go-getter. At times I can be much more chill. So it depends on the situation. As I think most of those personality things go. there will be general trends, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to dispute that there will be general trends and choices I'm sure I make which perhaps lean one way or the other. More often or not. But I feel like because human beings are rather complicated and things can't be defined that cleanly. But it's still fun to do, don't get me wrong. That's what makes them so enticing. It feels like there's a nugget of truth in them. But then you shouldn't take that too much apart from at face value. Well, at least that's my reading of it. I don't know. Your mileage may vary. There are certainly probably ways to quantify personality, I'm sure. Do we know them? I don't know. Well, I certainly don't know them. I suppose that's more of a psychologist. Psychologist? Probably psychologist. Maybe a sociologist. Psychologist. Psychologist territory rather than my own. So it's not really something I'm going to say I can comment on all too well. But alas, here we are swimming, taking the slow life. Relaxing. Well, saying that, swimming isn't all about relaxing, to be honest. It's a full body workout, isn't it? I remember reading a thing ages ago being like you should do swimming if you want to exercise all the muscles in your body. It's it was either like the only sport, which probably not the only sport which does it, but the best sport at doing it, or one of the best. I don't quite recall. It's probably just a factoid. I don't know, some random thing which the book made up as a fact. You know, you can just make up anything if you say it with enough conviction. It can sound true. A lot of it is in delivery rather than necessarily in the content, which is a bit of a worrying thought, you might say, but alas, that just do be how it is. So you can tell I'm quite chilled out right now. It's a Sunday. All Sunday episodes are rather chill, aren't they? Compared to other ones. You know? Suppose there's nothing happens on Sunday in Animal Crossing. You get Daisy May, that's it. So I hope that's something which can at least change in the future updates, as Sunday feels a bit more substantial rather than a bit of a... I suppose it is meant to be a day of rest, but I'd imagine most people will probably play it on a day of rest, right? Rather than on a different day necessarily. I don't want to harvest all the coconuts so readily, so let's go chop down some... Not chop down some trees, but hit some trees which... We've already shaken the coconuts off of them. Oh, did I mention? I watched Squid Game yesterday, the first episode, not the entire thing. Because I watched it with some friends. An online viewing party, it was good fun. I'm enjoying it, to be honest. It's good to see the sort of context behind some other things which I basically had no context behind before, you know. I knew red light, green light was a thing. I know one of the upcoming games. I don't know which game it's going to be. I assume it's going to be the next one, because it's so popular. I knew some other memes. I don't even pay attention to what bug that was. I'm so out of it. I feel like a Wolfridge. That's doable, I guess. I think a bug one and crafting one is probably doable in these last 5 minutes. I don't know. But yeah, honestly, I enjoyed it. I think it's good fun. I'm interested to see where it goes. and it's just an enjoyable watch. And I mean, I'm not really the contrarian type, I suppose, in the first place, to be like, because it's popular, I've got something, you know, to say about it, to criticise it. I don't know. Like, I could criticise it, but really, I don't really care. In the end, it's my sort of thing. And the basic thing it comes down to is, am I enjoying watching it? Am I not enjoying watching it? We can delve deeper into some of the things afterwards, but I'm not in the mood for that sort of thing. Talk to me on another day, and perhaps we can delve a little bit deeper into perhaps meaning and messaging and my own things which didn't quite align with the story and nor didn't quite appeal to me in the same way that maybe it appealed to other people. I don't know. I do like to talk about things or think about those sort of things, but normally I just think about them to myself, because really, they only kind of matter to myself, don't they? It's literally my own take on the entire situation. And in the first place, most people, you know, don't really particularly care what I think of, you know, like, you know, I don't know, The Matrix or something. I don't know why Matrix came to mind, or etc. Some popular media property. Because my opinion, my view on it only really appeals to me, because that's just the way I think. And not many other people are going to watch it and be like, oh, I'm going to have exactly the same ideas. But it's also nice to share ideas, I suppose, in the same place. So don't take it as me just writing off the sharing of opinions about sort of thing as if they're useless or anything. I'm just not in the mood for it right now. It's not relaxing. I'm in a relaxed mood right now, and I want to keep it that way. I don't want to have to think about things too hard. That might just be because I'm hungry. I'm not particularly sure. If anything, perhaps it's a good thing I'm hungry. Good way to lose weight, isn't it? There's that sort of like a diet where you just like don't eat anything for like 3 days and then you eat like one meal. Can I recommend it? I can't imagine that's the best way to lose weight, but I'd imagine it's certainly quite fast. I'd imagine the best way is just to sort of like have a low, just basically essentially burn more calories when you intake on a daily basis, but still get a balanced meal, you know, vitamins and minerals, all the other good things that you could possibly want to eat per day, and hopefully that would be fine in the end. I think wolf roaches spawn at this time, right? Or maybe they stop spawning around this time. No, I'm pretty sure they're spawning at night time. Does that be fine? Yeah, so I don't know. What am I going to title this episode? That's a good question. The slow life, I guess. Slow living. Slow da da. Oh, now I think about it, the anime song's called Slow Fantasy, isn't it? Not Slow Life. I don't know why I thought it was called Slow Life. Let's just round this episode off here. It's going nowhere, I'm going to be perfectly honest. Okay, we can bury this coconut and then we'll round off this episode here. And normally I'd be quick to throw out an episode because, like, not literally throw out an episode, it would be like dismiss an episode, being like, it's pointless, you know, and I didn't spend the entire half an hour talking about something interesting. Sometimes that's fine, you know. Just like any good story, we have arcs. Sometimes we've got high moments. Those are parts which people, like, you know, feel great about. And we've got the low moments which appeal to other people. And allow there to be a break so things aren't so high intensity all the time. Allow things just to sort of relax and mellow out a bit, to give good contrast, I suppose, to when things are awesome again. And this is just always the Sunday mood. It's always very chill. So let's round up this episode of here, shall we? If you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares are greatly appreciated. Join me at Dear Darling Discord. Follow me on Twitter down below. Hope we can see each other again. But for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye bye for now.